Who really wrote the word hope on Trunks' time machine? Well, the answer may surprise you because it's actually not who you or even I thought it was. From day one, I have always encouraged fans who grew up watching Dragon Ball with the English dub to try it out in Japanese. Not just because it's the original version of the show, but mostly because the dub was somewhat butchered with a lot of dub changes, script changes, and character changes, which in my opinion hurt the integrity of the show. And of course I'm speaking about the original Dragon Ball Z dub, not the Kai dub. But of course, the vast majority of those who grew up with the English dub grew up with it because, well, they didn't speak Japanese, which makes perfect sense. Why would you watch a show in Japanese if you don't speak it? And lucky for us, unlike a lot of other anime that have been shortchanged, you can watch Dragon Ball subtitled or dubbed in various different releases and on various different websites, including Funimation.com and Hulu. Obviously, I grew up with fan subs, but the official Funimation subs were done by a man known as Stephen J. Simmons, and he's been in our community longer than almost anybody, since all the way back in the early 90s when he was the first guy that I can remember putting out complete Dragon Ball Z episode recaps before the show was anywhere close to airing on TV, literally years before, under the screen name Daimao. Several years later, he was hired by Funimation to do the official subtitles, and the fact remains that his subtitle translation is about 99% accurate, but what about that 1%? Most of the things in that 1% are really not important, and you're going to run into problems when interpreting Japanese to English because it's such a diverse language change that certain words can be interpreted different ways, and that's why sometimes you'll see different translations for different things. Most recently, my buddy Anime AJ made me aware of one that I never even knew about. 20 years watching this show and I never realized this. Trunks has been in the news lately, right? Let's go back to the episode when Trunks, Bulma, and Gohan found the time machine that Cell used to go back in time. There is a specific scene that I remember where Trunks states that Bulma wrote the words hope on the time machine, and that's how he was able to figure out that it was indeed his time machine. Now, if you watch this scene dubbed or if you watch it subbed, both versions stated that it was Bulma. However, it got weird for me because in the Viz manga, he states that he wrote it. Also, if you watch the Spanish dub, the Latin American dub, it also states that it was Trunks who wrote Hope on the time machine. So who was it? Was it Trunks or was it Bulma? Well, thanks to my buddy AJ and of course the Omni King of the Dragon Ball community, probably the most knowledgeable fan that I'm aware of, and he's also Japanese, K17, it turns out that the dub was wrong and the sub was wrong, and that it was indeed Trunks who wrote Hope on the time machine, not Bulma. This is one of the few times where both the dub and the sub were wrong, and Viz and the Latin American dub got it right. I had to make this video to document this because I think it's important that the community knows, even though it might not be anywhere close to being major, at least you know that it was indeed Trunks who wrote Hope, not Bulma. And to me, I'm glad that now people know the truth, including me, because hell, I didn't even know this until just a few days ago. I hope, pun intended, you enjoyed this quickie. Spread this video out to the world, and thank you for your support, and take care of yourself and each other.